Welcome back to the YouTube channel.
Hello.
If you've never been here before, my name is Agnes. I am a full-time artist, oil painter who also tries to do content creation kind of just to stay afloat. This is my boyfriend, Andy Yo. He is a musician, and together we also run a separate joint couples Instagram where we just post whatever we have taken photos of that week. And I was thinking to myself, what kind of video should I make this week? And I realized that I have never made an actual artist Q&A. We've only done a couples Q&A before, and I mean, some of you new here, I get the same questions quite often, so I thought it would be a good video. Maybe you've never been here before. What a good intro. Don't pull it out, bitch. Why?
Intrusive thoughts.
Goodbye, Andy.
Bye, my love.
I'm gonna try to do something today, but it's really hard sometimes. I really don't feel like doing anything besides scrolling TikTok today.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
But we're gonna pull through.
I'm gonna do, when you get home, there's gonna be one more piece of artwork in this house. Goodbye!
Bye.
Fit check. Oh my god, it's kinda giving Hamilton.
I'm not run away, mate.
Shut! Yeah, another question people ask me a lot in real life when I meet people and tell them what I do is like, how do you know what to do every day when you wake up if you don't have a schedule, if you are your own boss and you have no specific deadlines? I don't fucking know. I don't know if I was actually built for this life. Like, if I am busy and I have a lot of deadlines, I will get mental breakdowns and literally lose my memory from being so overworked. And if I have nothing to do, like now, I won't do shit. I do struggle with getting shit done if nobody's checking on me, which is not the greatest recipe for being self-employed. I guess what I do is that I try to book in and say yes to as many things as possible with deadlines, and then I kind of put in my own personal stuff to be done before I have the next deadline, if that makes sense. No, it doesn't. I try to keep routine. For example, the weekly YouTube videos have helped structure up my time a lot because I know I have to finish the video by Sunday. But when I really have nothing to do, kind of like now, I try my best to just focus on painting. And due to our move being so chaotic and crazy and prolonged, I have not painted anything in 6 months, which is a record for me. And it felt really scary getting back into it. So what I've started doing is that I have started doing 20-minute paintings in my sketchbook. And my go-to challenge for myself, as I am trying to ease back into painting after a really long break, has been to do sketchbook studies. Basically what I do is that I fill my palette with all of the colors that I usually use. Then I start a 20, 30 or 40-minute timer, and I go to my camera roll or Pinterest and I just paint whatever catches my eye the first. And then I try to paint it before the time runs out. Once I'm done, I take a new picture and I don't leave until I've finished all of the paint. So as you're painting and doing the challenge, your options on the palette is also decreasing and you kind of have to work around it. I find that I come up with quite interesting color combos that I would have not chosen myself if I wanted a realistic look. I also got a comment of somebody struggling a bit with convincing their parents that this is a viable career path. They asked me if my parents were supportive over my choices, and I am very lucky to have really chill and really supportive parents. They have always supported me in whatever I wanted to do, as long as I take responsibility for myself, my health, my economy, and keeping all of the doors open. Meaning I can give this my all, but they have also taught me that I still have my grades to fall back on if I want to go back to school, or if I need to get another job, then I haven't burned any bridges, which I think is the best advice a parent could give. Another thing about their parenting style that I think has been good is that I have handled my own money from a very early age. When I was younger and a teenager, I would sometimes get a bit jealous because my friends would just get everything for free from their parents. But in hindsight, I really appreciate that my parents trusted me, and I've always been quite independent with that. I started my little Hamilton print business when I was 16, and then 1 month after I turned 18, I was working every weekend and night at the grocery store. And I'm really sad that it's not the standard for creative kids, but I am very grateful that my parents are openly and affirmingly telling me that they are proud of me for following my dream, and they have raised me to plan ahead and be smart and save up, etc. I have great parents, and I know they're both watching this the second it comes out, so hello, shout out to you, mom and dad. Somebody asked, are you gonna open up more slots for your course anytime soon? And for those of you who don't know, I have created a beginner-friendly online painting course that focuses on portraiture with oil paint, and it's basically a step-by-step follow-along of my artistic process with a few specific lessons on topics like color theory, color mixing, how to choose a reference, stuff like that. Basically sharing everything that I've learned, and then it also includes free reference libraries, exercise sheets, and feedback from me. So if you missed the launch, don't worry. If you sign up to the waiting list in my bio, you will get a $100 discount when it launches in April. So don't miss that. Somebody asked, can you explain the process behind your reference photos? Ooh. I've always been super into photography. I think mostly to document my own life, but like also as an art form. And I have done more professional photography projects such as the Hands of Soul photo book. And I can't really explain it, but when I'm looking through the photos, I can immediately tell if this photo is gonna turn into a painting. And then other times I will get a really strong like visual idea of how I want my painting to look. And me and Andy will kind of figure out a way to recreate that image with us as models. And sometimes I get visions like this, and then it's obviously very hard, and then I usually just have to embarrass myself at IKEA. Bruh. Which brings me to the drawing that I'm starting now, because last time I visited Korea, I had one of the most special days of my life, where my auntie and grandma took my mom and I to a Korean bathhouse. And you know, we don't speak Korean and they don't speak English, so we just kind of went along, and we got to this bathhouse. They stripped us naked, and they ordered like a full body scrub where a middle-aged Korean woman in a bikini scrubbed every inch of my body, including my ass crack. Apart from it being a very funny story, it is honestly, to this day, one of the most special days of my life. I don't want to say primal, but there was definitely something more poetic of seeing my mom and my grandmother, who has lived their entire life separated. We had been stripped of all of these exterior signifiers that we no longer belong together, because we grew up in Sweden, we wear Western fashion, they wear Korean clothes, you know, all of these like visual indicators that we did not grow up as a family. And I knew right away that I wanted to make some kind of artwork to commemorate this day. Due to privacy reasons, you're obviously not allowed to take any photos inside of the bathhouse. I try really hard to remember how everything looked and how everything felt, but the more time that goes by, the harder it gets. So as dumb as I am, I tried using AI. Oh my god, I have to share this. So I type in, give me a photo of 4 Korean women in a traditional Korean bathhouse with teal tiles. One is young, 2 are middle-aged, and 1 is old. They are sitting in a round hot tub. And what in the actual K-pop bullshit is this? Like, it's so funny. Let's just say that it didn't really match the vibes of what I experienced in the Korean countryside. Look at this hot grandma just chilling on the side. This didn't really help, so then I wrote more traditional, less modern. And I got this. Bruh. To all artists out there fearing the day AI come for all of our jobs, I wouldn't worry too much. If you make artwork from your heart, drawing from your human experiences, with the unique eyes and brain you were born with, what's the computer gonna do? So what I ended up doing instead was a Photoshop collage thing, just to get the perspective right, and then I'm gonna do it in this very soft, diffuse style. I will be using soft pastels in a quite diffuse way to reflect how my memory of this day is fading and that I only remember a symbolic image. For all the people at home who think I'm this organized, successful artist, first of all, I love the framing of this question because I think it's because I feel like the only way for you to succeed in anything is if you are self-aware of your flaws and how you can adapt your life to better work with your flaws, and your strengths, so you can adapt your life to best utilize your strengths. And I would say my biggest strength as an artist is probably that I am very dedicated and efficient, and I have always had this I can do that mentality when I've watched other YouTubers, other artists, and I think that ambition is really what drives me forward. And then I would say for weaknesses, I would say that I'm a bit lazy, and I think when things don't go my way, I can disproportionately get extremely upset and make it even harder for myself to work. And I have a tendency to bite off more than I can chew, and then I get really overwhelmed. Hey Andy.
Hello Agnes.
What are you making?
I'm making festslagsbulle. Party kind of bun.
No, are you kidding? Are you serious?
Fast.
Did you think it's fest as in party?
I didn't say that.
Wait.
You raised the tape.
Do you know why we eat them?
I think because the Christians used to like not eat, right?
Yeah, it's pasta, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say party?
Party kind of bun.
So in March every year, Swedish people eat a shit ton of these every single day for a week and then never again.
The only Christian traditions that live on in Sweden are the ones that
involve
taste good
food.
or give you material things.
But basically, it's like a bun with kardemomme.
Cardamom.
Kardemomme is how you say it in Norwegian. Those of you who watch Scam, they know. You slice it in half, then you mix almond paste with oat milk, we do at least, inside, and then you put cream in the middle, powdered sugar on top, and it tastes super good. It's usually prettier, or it's usually more even, but it's also usually like $8 in a cafe. This one is less. Okay, someone asked, how's the move going?
We were so close. There was a guy who made a bid on the apartment. Morning of the day we were going to sign the contract, he pulled out.
We decided to buy the apartment in October, and it's currently March, and our buyer pulled out the same day we were signing the papers. So we are currently stuck in this limbo of having 2 apartments, paying 2 rents, but not being able to move into the new one. But half our stuff is there, so we can't work at home, and everything is chaotic. I feel like we were a bit naive in how quickly we were going to be able to sell this one, because it's like, how do you say, the market right now is not really good for selling.
It's terrible.
And we also put it out like before Christmas, but we are kind of stressed about it. And for me especially, I like packed up all of my painting supplies, and I thought it was only temporary for like 1 to 2 months, and now here we are 6 months later.
Going to the gym.
And you're going to pose my address. Okay, there's addresses all over. A lot of people ask, how I maintain a work-life balance, and let me tell you that I do not. I don't even know how I would measure it, because I feel like my work and life are simply intertwined, if that makes sense. Like, I am not necessarily looking for balance. I am basically just trying to make my work as enjoyable as possible and my life as dedicated to my work as I possibly can, if that makes sense. That being said, some months, especially this winter when I was working on the course, I was working too much. This winter I was very close to burning out because I was spending so many nights working. Your sleep is very important. That is like the main thing I would say that you need. The threshold. Threshold. My threshold for when it is completely out of balance is when I don't have time to spend time with Andy or sleep. Like, work, Andy, sleep. That is basically my life. And I make sure to have time for all of those. We are gonna make homemade dumplings. Andy is responsible for the filling. I am responsible for the dough. Let's go. I am just winging it. I just poured a bunch of water and all our flour into the bowl. For a brief time in middle school, Andy, I was slay at dumpling.
And
Do you know?
every time we make dumplings, she tells me this
But
story.
do you know why?
Because you just make it with your daddy.
No.
Yeah.
In elementary school, we have this hemkunskapen at home studies.
Yeah.
We had like MasterChef. There was like the biggest part of our grade where all the teachers would like judge the food.
Really?
And we would get different amounts of grades if it was like environmentally friendly food, if it contained many different steps, things, and to prepare, because it was like MasterChef vibes in the classroom. Okay. I did it at home like every week for like 2 months.
Really?
It was like a whole thing. Do you want the hard question I got earlier?
Yeah.
What is your biggest strength and weakness as a artist?
My biggest strength is that I can get like really engulfed about something and really put my everything into learning and like doing it. Biggest weakness, I'm not that good at some of the tasks that you need to have like a career, like a successful career. I'm like Ferdinand Bull, like
this man has no concept of time whatsoever, and if he tells you he's gonna be there in 10 minutes, he's not coming in 2 hours.
Just happiest just sitting in my room playing or like writing music. But I'm not that good at promoting myself or getting out there.
I think it's quite interesting because our strengths and weaknesses are completely inverted when it comes to our job.
Exactly.
Someone asked, what's your favorite album? I would say, overall, that I'm a fan of, I would say either one of the 3 Hadestad albums. I would say with my entire heart and soul that I love, I would say Double Fantasy by Yoko Ono and John Lennon. And most listened to right now, like current fave, I would say Bright Future by Adrian Lenker. Most people ask about tips and stuff like that would take me like ages to answer. Nobody gives me quick questions.
Favorite albums?
I've already taken that one when you were gone. What are your goals for the year? What are our goals for the year?
I want to release my album. That's basically my big goal. Finish the music video, maybe 1 or 2 more music videos.
So on the 1st of January I wrote my goals for the year. 1. Experiment with more different painting surfaces, which I have started doing with the drawings I did. Do more sketchbook stuff, which I have been doing. Plan another solo show. Plan or do, depending on if I get a venue or not. But I want to do another solo show this year. Be better to record my process. Paint at least every week. I have not painted a single week. Besides 1 commission. So I'm already behind. And then making another course that is more intermediate, because a lot of people thought the beginner-friendly one was too easy. Which I think is good. Just moving in the new apartment and making ourselves at home there. It's like the big one, I think. I want to take care of you. I love you. Oh, I want to start scrapbooking. Some pose.
What's your other favorite medium besides oils?
Besides oil paint, I think I would say, if you look at my portfolio, I guess you'd say photography, I guess.
Yeah.
Photography is like one of the mediums that I use most in my practice, but I am also a big fan of soft pastels. I have barely used them since 2019, but in high school, soft pastels was my shit.
I have a beard. She thinks it's because of her, but it's because I don't have a charger. I have ordered like the part. It's like it's just getting out of hand.
I thought you were doing it for me.
She has like a beard fetish.
No, but I think you look extra hot when you have beard.
You're weird.
Oh no, you're so handsome, so handsome. Oh. It's really nice. You look like the dwarf from Lord of the Rings.
No!
He's the hot one.
No. Where is he? She's like put the action figurine of the dwarf from The Hobbit on my desk every day to make me jealous, because she also like.
No, that's not why.
Yes.
It's not to make you jealous. It's because I had him and you have other action figures, and I thought he should hang out with his own
But he
kind.
can be on your side.
Bro, he doesn't fit on my side. My side is only girls.